Welcome to the Traveling Abroad video in our Export Controls video series. UC faculty, researchers, and staff often travel internationally in conjunction with their university work. In recent years, there's been increased government concern regarding university research activities and national security. It's important that the UC community demonstrates awareness of foreign travel risks when traveling abroad on behalf of the institution. This video is meant to provide travelers with guidance on when to contact their export control lead for assistance before taking equipment, devices, software, or technical data outside the U.S. So how do you know when items and information you carry with you are controlled? Information is not subject to export regulations if it's publicly available, meaning it's not proprietary information and is already published, arises during fundamental research, is educational, meaning it's taught in a catalog-listed course, or is included in certain patent applications. Sometimes, the answer to whether the items you're traveling with are controlled is maybe, and a license may be required. You should contact your export control lead if you are traveling with listed equipment, software, or technology, or if you are traveling to a sanctioned country, such as Cuba, Iran, North Korea, Sudan, and Syria, as trade embargoes to these countries also apply to research materials and activities. Finally, there are some situations where we can tell you that yes, a license will be required. You should contact your export control lead for help obtaining a license if you will be traveling with controlled chemicals or bioagents, controlled technical data, maybe it was received under an obligation of confidentiality, devices, equipment, or computer software received with restrictions on, export to, or access by foreign nationals, and devices, systems, or software specifically designed or modified for military or space applications, even if these items are used in an academic research setting. In most yellow light situations, a license exception may be available for UC employees to take UC-owned items abroad, but documentation is required, and you'll need to make sure you bring the documentation with you when you travel. Your export control lead can help you with this. Export declaration may be required for licensable items and for items above $2,500 in value. Contact your export control lead for assistance with this. Finally, you'll want to consider the import requirements of other countries, which vary greatly. For help with this, you should work with your international collaborator to identify the import requirements of their country. Remember that for travel to many countries, it can take 6 to 8 weeks to obtain a license, and for travel to embargoed countries, obtaining a license can sometimes take months. So make sure you confirm with your export control lead whether a license will be required well in advance of your travel and before you make any non-refundable travel plans. Finally, when you travel abroad, whether or not you are carrying export-controlled items, you will be going through customs. If customs officials, either in the U.S. or abroad, suspect that a regulated item or defense article has been or will be imported or exported without a license, they may examine files and software on your devices as well as in your baggage. In addition, inspectors in other countries may detain and copy hard drives. International travelers are encouraged to contact their export control lead with questions before travel to ensure any necessary licenses or paperwork are in order. Additionally, we recommend that you remove all non-essential data from your devices prior to leaving the United States and check with your IT staff both before and after travel about protecting. Before we finish, let's take a look at a couple of scenarios to check your knowledge. In this first scenario, you've traveled to India and have hand-carried some research equipment in your luggage.